Have you ever wondered why two people can look at the exact same situation and come to completely different conclusions? Maybe you've noticed this with your friends when talking about your favorite sports team or a celebrity you admire. Here's something that might surprise you: the answer isn't just about having different opinions. It's about something called bias, and it's affecting every single decision you make right now. But here's the really interesting part: most of the time, we don't even realize we're being biased. It's like wearing invisible glasses that change how we see the world. Today, we're going to explore this fascinating topic together, and you'll learn some really practical A2-B2 English along the way. We'll discover useful vocabulary about decision-making, social media, and everyday conversations. You'll learn phrases like overlook or dismiss, filter bubble, and critical thinking, all things you can use immediately in real life. We're diving into a topic that affects everything, from the friends you choose, to the news you believe, to the products you buy. Welcome to Lady Show English. Now, let me show you the useful English you're about to learn. Let's do a quick preview of the English we'll explore today. First, we'll learn the word bias. It means having an unfair view of someone or something. We'll look at confirmation bias, which is when you only pay attention to information that agrees with what you already believe. You'll discover the phrase overlook or dismiss, super useful when someone is ignoring important information. There's also paint a picture, which means to describe something in a particular way. And here are two modern terms: filter bubble and echo chamber. These describe what happens on social media when you only see opinions that match your own. We'll also cover critical thinking, which means carefully analyzing information before making decisions. These aren't just vocabulary words, they're tools you can use in everyday conversations, at work, and especially when discussing social media. So stick with me, because we'll break down each of these with real-life examples you can start using immediately. Let's start with a simple question: what is bias? Bias is having an unfair view of a person or a group. It means your opinion is skewed, either too positive or too negative, instead of being balanced. Here's what makes this interesting: bias comes in many forms, and we often don't realize we're being biased. And this is the important part: it affects almost every decision we make. Let me tell you about some specific types. The first is confirmation bias. This happens when we favor ideas we already believe, instead of challenging them. And here's where it gets relatable. Think about your favorite football team or singer. You're much more likely to agree with anything that presents them in a positive light, right? This is the surprising part: we often overlook or dismiss other teams or artists. In extreme cases, we might ignore proven controversies that paint a less favorable picture. Now, let's talk about something more subtle: unconscious bias. This refers to judgments we form about someone without even realizing it. Here's where it gets emotional. Our perspective is influenced by our social class, education, and life experiences. Unconscious bias could lead us to treat people unfairly without knowing it, affecting the friends we make or the people we value. The important thing to remember: everyone has unconscious biases. The key is being aware of them. There's another serious type: gender bias. This is where people are discriminated against because of their gender. We might form opinions about somebody's skills or achievements purely based on gender, even when men and women have done similar things. Now, here's the big question: how does bias influence our decisions? This is really important. Being biased can impact our decisions because strong views make us overlook facts and other viewpoints. Here's a simple example. If you support a football club, you might believe they're the best in the world, even if they're at the bottom of the league. But here's where it gets relevant to daily life: bias and social media. Listen carefully. People post whatever they like on social media, and their biases influence what they share. And this is concerning. If you only follow accounts with similar opinions, an algorithm will recommend similar accounts to you. This creates a filter bubble, similar to an echo chamber, where you only see one side of every story. Here's the scary part. This can help the spread of viral fake news. When everyone agrees, things seem more true, even if they're false. So what can you do? Look for different viewpoints before making judgments. Seek impartial sources, like verified news providers with blue ticks on social platforms. And here's the solution. When you have different opinions, use critical thinking to form your own view. This means carefully analyzing information and not accepting everything at face value. Now that you've heard the story, let's dive into the English you can use every day. Let's start with bias. In simple English, bias means having an unfair opinion about someone or something. Your view is not balanced or neutral. In our story, bias is having an unfair view of a person or a group, either by being skewed positively or negatively toward it. The word skewed means twisted in one direction. Everyday examples. At work, I try not to let my bias affect my decisions. At school, the teacher showed bias toward certain students. In conversation, I know I have a bias, but I think coffee is better than tea. Small task, think about your own life. Where might you have a bias? Maybe about food, music, or apps you prefer? Ready for the next one? Confirmation bias. This is when you favor information that confirms what you already believe and ignore what challenges it. From the story, confirmation bias happens when we favor ideas we already have, instead of challenging them. Real-life uses. At work, I was showing confirmation bias when I only read articles supporting my idea. With friends, let's not fall into confirmation bias, let's hear both sides. On social media, that's just confirmation bias, you only shared posts you agreed with. Your task, notice when you experience this over the next day. When do you agree with something just because it matches what you think? Here comes an even better one. Overlook or dismiss. To overlook means to fail to notice something, while dismiss means to decide it's not important. From our story, you overlook or dismiss other teams or artists, even when they're equally talented. Practical examples. In meetings, don't overlook the concerns Sarah raised. About relationships, he dismissed my feelings like they didn't matter. Every day, don't overlook the details in the contract. This is valuable in professional settings, relationships, or discussing important information. Think about this. Can you remember when someone dismissed something important you said? What other situations involve overlooking information? Ready for the next useful phrase? Filter bubble and echo chamber. A filter bubble is when algorithms only show you content matching your opinions. An echo chamber is when you're surrounded by people who only repeat your beliefs. The story explained. An algorithm will recommend similar accounts, creating a filter bubble, similar to an echo chamber. Real uses. On social media, I'm trying to break out of my filter bubble by following diverse voices. In discussions, this group is an echo chamber, nobody challenges opinions. About news, living in a filter bubble makes you think everyone agrees. These terms are essential for discussing social media and online culture. Interactive moment. Look at your social media. Are you in a filter bubble? What different accounts could you follow for diverse perspectives? Ready for our final term? Critical thinking. This means thinking clearly and rationally about what to believe. It involves analyzing information objectively and questioning assumptions. From the story, use critical thinking to form your own view. Examples you can use today. In education, this course develops critical thinking skills. At work, apply critical thinking before investing in this project. Daily life, use critical thinking before sharing that post, is it true? My challenge, think of everyday situations where critical thinking helps. When choosing what to buy, what to believe in group chats, or what advice to follow. That's our English teaching, now let's wrap up. What a journey! Let's recap. Today we explored confirmation bias, unconscious bias, and gender bias. We learned powerful phrases, overlook or dismiss for ignoring information, paint a picture for describing presentations, and filter bubble and echo chamber for social media discussions. Most importantly, we discovered critical thinking, the key to overcoming bias. Here's what I want you to do. If you learned something valuable today, leave a heart in the comments. Second request, share this video with one friend learning English. Learning is better together. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Lady Show English. Every like helps me create more practical content for you. Until next time, keep practicing your English, keep questioning what you read, and keep thinking critically. Remember, awareness of bias is the first step to smarter decisions. See you in the next video.